We are referring to Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and he is in London at the moment. Also has launched scathing attacks on the Indian democracy. A day after Rahul Gandhi defended his Cambridge lecture and accused the Prime Minister of defaming India, addressing a press conference organized by the Indian Journalists Association, he went on to say that the so-called defenders of democracy, which are US and European countries, seem to be oblivious that a huge chunk of the democratic model is falling apart. He went on to say that opposition parties are battling for Indian democracy and that the opposition has a vision of bringing people together. Meanwhile, the BJP hit out at Gandhi, accusing him of betraying India's integrity and sovereignty.
So the surprising thing is that the so-called defenders of democracy, which are the United States, European countries, seem to just be oblivious that a huge chunk of the democratic model has come undone, right? Which is a real problem with regards to, and frankly, the opposition is fighting that battle, right? And it's not just an Indian battle. It's actually a much more important battle. It is a battle for a huge part of the democratic people.
How would you react if democracy suddenly disappeared in Europe? Right? You'd be shocked and you'd be like, oh my God, that's a massive blow to democracy. Well, how would you react if something, a structure 3.5 times Europe suddenly went non-democratic? Right? That's happened already. That's not something that is going to happen in the future. That's already happened.
This statement is absolutely a betrayal of the idea of India's sovereignty, unity and integrity. The fact that you seek intervention of a foreign power to intervene in your thriving democracy, the world's largest democracy, is nothing short of betrayal. And this is not the first time Chetty has done this. You remember that he had once appealed to Nicholas Burns that the United States should get involved in Indian democratic matters. We may have our differences, we may have our problems, but we are fiercely independent and we need no imperialistic or foreign powers to intervene in our democracy. In fact, today is a situation that even Britain needs an Indian origin person to guide their democracy.
मुझे लगता है कि राहुल गांधी को चाइना का ऑफिशियल स्पोक्सपर्सन बन जाना चाहिए। कुछ जितनी जानकारी वो रखते हैं चाइना के बारे में, जितनी फीड उनके पास आती है शायद किसी के पास आती नहीं। शायद उनको जानकारी नहीं कि जितना काम पिछले 8 साल में मोदी सरकार ने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को लेकर बॉर्डर पे किया है, जितना काम वहां पर सेना को सबल करने में किया है, उनको हथियार के मामले में, वहां पर एयरपोर्ट बनाने के मामले में, वहां पर हेलीपैड बनाने के मामले में जो किया है, वो पिछले 60 साल में इन्होंने किया था।
सत्ता से बाहर होने के बाद राहुल गांधी जिस तरीके से चीन को लेकर उन्होंने अपना दोस्ताना रवैया अपना रखा है, वो भारत जानता है। कम से कम अपनी राजनीति की प्रकाष्ठा को इतना ना गिराएं कि उनको लोग भूल जाएं।
ये तो अपनी पार्टी से लड़ रहे हैं, वही बहुत है। इनके पार्टी के अंदर इतने सारे दुश्मन इनके खड़े हुए हैं कि एक कोई इंसाफ के लिए कोई लीगल एड बनाता है। मैं उनको भी कहता हूं कि भैया तुम किसी और के लिए इंसाफ मत करो। भारत में बहुत इंसाफ देने वाले लोग हैं, अपनी पार्टी को इंसाफ दिला लो।
जब देश का मामला आता है तो देश सर्वोपरि है, क्या सत्ता पक्ष क्या विपक्ष। हम अपने देश के लिए मर मिटने को तैयार रहते हैं और इतने करोड़ों लोगों की कुर्बानियां और उनका योगदान लगा है, तब जाकर हमारा देश इतना महान बन पाया है। सरकारें आती रहेंगी, जाती रहेंगी, जो काम हुए हैं उनके द्वारा उनका आकलन हो सकता है, अवलोकन हो सकता है।
मोदी जी बाहर देश जाके कुछ भी बोल सकते हो, हमको अपमान भी कर सकते हो, और उन्होंने ये भी कहा है बाहर देश जाके कि कांग्रेस पार्टी भ्रष्ट है। वो कैसे बोल सकते हो? वो गलत है। तो जब मोदी जी जैसे चीज बोल रहे हैं, राहुल जी ऐसा नहीं बोला है। राहुल जी सही कहा है कि जब पार्लियामेंट में जब वो अदानी के खिलाफ कहा तो उसका जो लाइन एक्सपंज किया गया है, क्यों किया गया है?
It's quite apparent that he does not understand the Indian psyche or the culture. Such filthy and derogatory language against the ruling party or the RSS on foreign soil is not taken kindly by the Indian people. It will have huge implications on Rahul Gandhi's future as well as the future of his party at the time of elections.
Ashutosh continues to be with us. Ashutosh, how is this going to play out politically? Because the BJP in a way always, is successful in building this narrative that that Mr. Rahul Gandhi, even if he's criticizing the Prime Minister, they make it all about being critical of India, being critical of Indian democratic values, isn't it?
You know, when it comes to the politics, always it is measured that how many elections you win, and that defines, perhaps success of any politician or a political party. So when it comes to the Congress party, often there is a criticism that every time you make a statement, and particularly when it comes to the BJP, they often say that every time Rahul Gandhi makes a statement, that always backfires the Congress. But here what you see, what Rahul Gandhi has been saying, it is the similar statement he has been making often then almost on every platforms. Now the BJP and Rahul Gandhi says that BJP always gives it a twist, that how come questioning the government or the government policy makes him anti-national or makes him one who's anti-India or, making anti-India comments. So clearly on that what he says, and in fact very categorically while responding to the Indian Journalist Association in UK, what he said, that if you see the Prime Minister on the foreign land saying there is huge corruption in India, it is the Prime Minister who made remarks that there was nothing being done in 70 years a country, which is insult to the lakhs of the millions of the Indians who contributed for this nation. So clearly on you see the Rahul Gandhi is on fire, and this is also indeed giving ammunition. But what is truth, both it is all about the narrative and perspective war. One has to set a tone and a narrative. What Rahul Gandhi is doing in foreign land, and of course in the election rally, subsequently the BJP has calculated what could be the perhaps aftermath of Rahul Gandhi's escalation, and exactly with their strategy they are calling it anti-India and not the anti-government, whereas Rahul Gandhi continues to say that what I said is not anti-India but it is the anti-government. So this what it seems will continue till 2024 elections, Sneha.
Absolutely, this is something that's going to continue, and the kind of comments that he's made, essentially it is against the BJP-led central government. However, the narrative that is being spun by the BJP is that this is anti-India. This of course has led to several war of words, so to speak, between the Congress and the BJP. Now, days after his Cambridge lecture also raked up his slugfest in the political arena, MP Gandhi, who is in the United Kingdom, slammed the central government. Interacting with the Indian diaspora in London, he questioned the Prime Minister-led government, BJP government. The Wayanad MP said Indian political leaders can give talks in Cambridge but can't deliver a talk in Indian University. Also went on to say that there is no concept of opposition in the Indian Parliament. Raking the China issue, the Grand Old Party's leader said it is shameful that the Chinese are sitting on Indian territory and that the Indian government does not allow a discussion on the same in Parliament. Slamming RSS, he said the right-wing organization has the heart of cowardice and that it would run away if the enemy is stronger.
It is quite strange that an Indian political leader can give a talk in Cambridge University, Harvard University, but he can't give a talk in India, in a university in India. And the reason is that our government simply does not allow any idea of the opposition, any concept of the opposition. अगर वो मुझसे कमजोर है तो मैं अपने 5-10 मित्रों के साथ उसको पीट दूंगा, मगर अगर वो आरएसएस वालों से तगड़ा है तो भी भाग जाते हैं. When there are important things that we need to speak about, demonetization, GST, the fact that the Chinese are sitting inside our territory, when we try to raise these questions, we're not allowed to raise them in the House. It's a fact. It's shameful, but it's true.
As Indians, we have to support Rahul Gandhi nowadays, and this is what India actually needs. People to come out and speak against the hatred and violence, and trying to include this kind of inclusivity, and trying to get together and build a good India that is built upon like love and care.
The whole speech was absolutely amazing, and Rahul Gandhi ji as a whole, but I would say that what I like about his leadership is that he's fearless and he speaks his mind, and he speaks for the country and the people, and he understands everyone's thoughts, and
That's what.
Brilliant. In fact, he connects with the people. For me, that is what matters the most. The connections that he drives with common people, the way he kind of talks to them. Even today in the interactions, he was talking to people, and that I think is the hallmark of a leader, and he kind of completely embraces that.
Many facets of the speech, speaking, people impressed with different facets of the speech, and they turned up in big numbers. One has to say over 1,000 people. We were told there were 2,000, close to 2,000 registrations, and a lot of them turned up. Some even were left behind because the hall was jam-packed. Going forward now, on Monday, Rahul Gandhi will be speaking in a committee room in the Parliament to some MPs and Lords and the members of the public, the attendees, and then at a think tank in London, Chatham House. Lavina Tandon for India Today from London.